is COVID-19 pandemic. The COVID-19 pandemic, also known as the coronavirus pandemic, is an ongoing global pandemic of coronavirus disease 2019 caused by several acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2. The novel virus was first identified in an outbreak in the Chinese city of Wuhan in December 2019. Coronavirus disease is an infectious disease caused by the SARS-CoV-2 virus. Anyone can receive with COVID-19 and become seriously ill or die at any Vietnam's economy. COVID-19 tripled catastrophe and the economy plunged in 2020, but Vietnam expects to make a strong recovery after managing the pandemic effectively. The country began the year with a 6.8% GDP growth target after growing by more than 7% the previous 2 years. But the COVID-19 pandemic brought more target beyond it. Growth in the first 9 months high 2.1%, the lowest in a decade as trade activity start and the manufacturing sector suffered dwindling demand. Foreign arrival in the first 11 months plunged near 77% year-on-year. Tourism revenue in the period fell nearly 59%. The aviation industry was another major victim of the pandemic. The number of flights operated by five domestic airlines grew 36% year-on-year. Most manufacturing sectors suffered with trade and government. One of the worst hit is was the structure to some material from China after the test measures were imposed to prevent the spread of the novel coronavirus. Businesses slow and employees lost their job or part of their income. Nearly 93,500 companies suspended businesses. An estimated 31.8 million workers were affected by pandemic, with 14% laid off and the rest in their work hours and income cut. Over 983,000 people applied for unemployment.
Economy. Vietnam's economy with 97.3 million people. GDP per capita is $3,498 USD per person, according to World Bank data, with an average economic growth rate of 6.8% per year. In the period of 2016 to 2019, Vietnam is in the top 10 fastest growing country in the world. Vietnam's labor force abundant, young and highly educated. Small and large businesses are still operating as usual. People still went to work and work regularly during that time to the outbreak. Medical has made great progress and living standards have improved. Even mortality rate decreased. Life expectancy increased. The universal health care coverage index is 73, higher than the regional and global averages, in which 87% of the population has health insurance coverage. The average number of years of schooling in Vietnam is 10.2, ranking second according to the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. In the day when the epidemic has not occurred, students and college still go to school and study regularly, according to the directive of the Department of the Education and Training.
Next one, I will reason how the Vietnam economy copes with COVID-19. First, impact of pandemic on the people of Vietnam. Casualty as of April 28, 2022, Vietnam have recorded 43,041 deaths due to COVID-19. During the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic, the exchange of trade goods were very stopped when people were afraid of restrictions. So there was very limit in going out. Many shops and service ensure safety. The limits going out to buy goods that use a stricter measure with e-shopping online. Just limit contact with others and can provide daily food. The number of workers negatively affected by the COVID-19 pandemic has plummeted, and the number of people entering the workforce continue to increase even as the number of COVID-19 infections in the country exceeds tens of thousands of cases per day. Next one, I will speak the government policy to deal with the pandemic. Safe adaptation, flexibility, effect, epidemic controls. Over the past 2 years, the COVID-19 pandemic had seriously affected people's lives, dynamic health, and blamed the lives of thousands of our compatriots. Under relationship of party exercise, the participate of the whole political system, and the participate on the anti-army people and business community will have brought into play the trend of race, nation until and melee efforts. Effort to overcome on difficulties and challenges, implement practically, simultaneously, retrievability and feels by many policies and measures to control the COVID-19 epidemic. Recently, the dual goal and protect people's health while maintaining socio-economic development, really bringing our country back to a new normal. About medical works, in the past times, the health sector has concentrated on research and practically implemented urgent measures to prevent and control an epidemic, which it has developed and ensure professional utilize to effectively carry out this work. Fasting, testing, organization, the certification and treatment, certification, implementing remote medical examination and treatment consultation, changing emergency and treatment capacity for COVID-19, but exploring successful treatment for many causes of service disease. Medical officials and staff are not apprised of difficulties, hardships, and dangers. Undertaking the list in the prevention and control of COVID-19. Next one about social security. The government has implemented measures to ensure social security mobilize the strength of national unity and social resource of domestic and foreign organizations and individuals for COVID-19 prevention and control activities. On security and other and social evils, facing complicated development of the COVID-19 epidemic, the government has directed ministries, branches, and local authorities to issue plans to ensure social security, orders, and safety. In the context of the epidemic, some types of blame and social evils such as theft, corruption, traffic accident, and so on, and health decreased significantly. About education, In order to adapt to the COVID-19 pandemic and ensure students right to study, the government has flexibly developed from online learning, television learning, high school graduation exam. Information opening a new school year in the accordance with the requirement of social distancing, learning and mobilizing social resources and effectively implementing the problem well and committed for children. The last question that I want to raise is impact of the pandemic on Vietnam economic sector. The aviation industry was severely affected. Many flights were canceled and number of tourists to Vietnam decreased. The Civil Aviation Authority of Vietnam estimates that the loss of aviation revenue is about 25,000 billion Vietnam dong. And the Department of Industry says that in the manufacturing and refreshing industry suffers from a shortage in the supply of raw material and components mostly imported from Japan, China, and South Korea, leading to the risk of stockdown. The COVID-19 epidemic has caused the Vietnam budget to lose about 150 billion Vietnam dong budget. Apartment building in Greece, retail strike or premise decreased by 10 to 30%. Real estate business cut 15% of stress compared to the time before the pandemic, and 80% of real estate flopped nationwide and temporarily closed. Before the outbreak of the pandemic, concern in the community led to an increase in demand for masks and sanitizers. In the marketplace, there is an increase the supply of masks are out of stock. Some necessities are also overpriced. Fair with that situation, market manager force and finance investor have changed their impatient and handling of scarce supply increase that affect consumer interest.
Vietnam economy after the outbreak of COVID-19. Vietnam economy gradually adapted flexibly and especially following the COVID-19 pandemic, thanks to the entire political system unwavering determination and the government's smooth and timely coordination. Despite the least global economic pictures, Vietnam economy continued to post impressive growth figures, prompting UOB to raise its GDP growth forecast for 2022 from 7% to 8.2%. In the first 6 months of this year, 70,209 businesses exited the market, a 24.9% increase over the same period in 2020. In particular, the number of businesses that see obligations in the first 6 months of the year were 35,607, a 22.1% increase over the same period in 2020. In the first 6 months of 2021, 9,942 businesses were dissolved, a 33.8% increase over the same period in 2020. Vietnam economy is Asia's locomotive and the country's economic situation is dire. Even after 2 years of the COVID-19 pandemic, the dong exchange rate against the US dollar has been relatively stable in comparison to other currencies in the regions. The government's leverage control and regulate energy price and inflation
making the Vietnam market a right port for attracting capital from foreign investors. The economy recovered in the manufacturing, service, and tourism sector following the COVID-19 pandemic. Over the same period in 2021, the value of industrial production increased by nearly 10%. The inflation rate remains low, while input costs increase slightly.
COVID-19 is a terrible pandemic for every corner of the world, causing millions of deaths. Vietnam has bailed out and tried to prevent the epidemic very well when the pandemic occurred. Vietnam is the country that has been imitated by the whole world in how to prevent the COVID epidemic. The COVID-19 outbreak has brought unprecedented challenges that are expected to have significant impact on the development of Vietnam's economy. But up to now, Vietnam has been preventing and extinguishing the epidemic very well, and the percentage of people infected or dying by has decreased a lot, almost zero compared to the beginning of the epidemic.